In Module 3, our next lesson is learning how to use the calendar with Myconnect. In today's classrooms, probably one of the hardest things for our kids to do is to stay organized. And so using the calendar tool in Myconnect is really going to be an advantage to your students if you, the teacher, use it. So let this little video tutorial help you get started in doing that. So you'll notice I'm already logged into a course. And what I want to do is I want to add an event to the calendar for this course. There's a couple ways that you can do it. The first way is you can go to Settings, and once you are in Settings, you will notice on the on the right side, it says your course calendar. And by clicking on that, I am directly in this course, so no matter how many courses I am teaching and or participating in, this particular access will get me into this course. And you'll notice I already have some assignments or events posted. So how do you use this calendar? Well, before we jump in, let's just get a lay of the land. First of all, you'll have your month-to-month calendar, and you can go forward or backwards in months. Secondly, directly below that, you're going to have all the courses that you are actively participating in. And so the calendar can become really, really busy. And I'm going to go ahead and just select all of my calendars so that you can get a feel for what would happen if all of them were actually active. Now, granted, I have a lot more than the average bird, but a high school student could potentially have a lot of different assignments and or courses. So it is summertime, so we don't have all of that much content on it, and so I do have a video later on in this particular module that will talk about best practices. So let's talk about adding content to our calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on a date, the 24th. And when you click on a date, what will come up is this window. And there are two types of contents that you can add to your calendar. The first one is an event, and that is some activity that's going to be going on, and you want to notify your students, or an assignment. Now the difference between the two, an event or an assignment is something that you are going to collect something from the students, and it goes into the Myconnect gradebook, not the Synergy one, but in the Myconnect one. So as you're just getting started, I would recommend that you use the event feature. You're going to give your assignment or your activity that you want to alert the students about. So for example, I'll say test chapter 2. You can go ahead and put a due date on it. I wouldn't fill in the from and the to or the location. You could if you want, just to see what happens, but I normally don't fill that information in. And then you need to make sure you double check that you're on the course that you want to add this to. So in my case, I'm going to add it to the TLC Canvas 101, which is our TLC. Now, you say, well, Stacy, that's great, but it's only a title. I have a PDF and a PowerPoint, several other resources that I want to go along with this particular event. That's when you're going to click on the More Options button. And by going to More Options, you're going to see you get your Rich Content Editor. So at this point, you can go ahead and add in, using your right navigation bar. You can go ahead and, if you have assignments or if you have made a page to go with this, perhaps you've got something else that you want, or a file. So in the case of me, I'm going to go ahead, I have a file that I've already uploaded. I could go ahead and add it to that and present that PDF or PowerPoint or Word doc to the students. And then I would go ahead, update the event, and now that event is going to appear on my calendar. And now the fun thing about this is, let's say for example this reflection, I want to go ahead and change it. I simply have to move it over. I can drag and drop it anywhere I want because it's a live calendar and I can pretty much do with it as I please. So here I've gone ahead and whoops, let's get out of that. And I've moved my reflection over there. My screen, however, is displaying a little double imaging there, so let's go ahead and see if we can't fix that. But that's how you would add to your calendar. Now, in our lesson, I've added some additional resources for you to just dig a little deeper on how to use the calendar. But for the most part, that's how you do it. Now, if I came back to our TLC and I wanted to just go directly to the calendar using the button at the top, you can do that. You can go that direction as well. What you need to be aware of is when you go ahead and you add an event that you are on the course that you want to be accessing and that you haven't somehow slipped onto something else that is not actually what you want. Okay, we'll see you in lesson number 3.